Okay, so now let's do a tutorial where we pull it all together. So this one is entitled My Dancing, and you'll notice that there's no tutorial that's just called Dancing, for instance, because I want you to do your own interpretation of it. So you do what you do. This one's just going to kind of show you the process step by step that I'm going to go through to make my dancing, but you make your own. And it's pretty exciting because this is the one where we're really going to pull everything all together. So let's go ahead and start with a brand new Max. And just like always, we're going to change our viewports so that we have them all at default shading and display selected with edge faces. Okay, and then after that, go ahead and save. So we're going to go to File, Save As, make sure that you're in your own student drive, and let's save it like this. Your last name and your first name, period, whatever your period is, and Project 5B, My Dance Scene, and just save. Okay, so we're ready to start. So you could do this as an indoor set. You could do it as an outdoor set. I would highly recommend doing it as an outdoor set because I want you to go ahead and put a camera in it that's going to be moving around and possibly on a track and everything. And it would just be a lot easier if you've got a lot of room to move around in. So I think I'm going to make this outdoor scene pretty much like I made the last one. And that is, I'm going to start with a cylinder and just pull that up a little bit. And then right away, put in my parameters here. And I'm going to make it about, let's say 50 feet in diameter, or radius, I should say, and maybe about 30 feet high. Segments, we'll only need one height segment, but the cap segments, we'll put several, so 64. I think is good for that. And the side segments also at 64. So that'll be good. And so so that I can see my whole thing, I'll just go over here to the Zoom Extents All selected, and then I'll be able to see it all. Alright, so now I'm going to start dividing it up a little bit. So first off, I'll go Edit Mesh, and I'm going to take off the top part because I'm not going to use the top part at all. So let's see here, I'll just go to polygons and I'm going to select all these polygons here, right? Notice that I haven't selected the top, but I'm going to go over here to edit and then select invert. Okay, and from there I can just go delete and I've got that. Now I am going to select everything else just by using my element selection there, and I'm going to flip the vertices, or I should say flip the normals. I've been calling them vertices, but it's the normals that we're flipping, and that's that surface. Okay, so that way we'll be able to see inside. Alright, then from there what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to separate the top from the bottom. So I'm going to go back to the polygons. I'm going to select only the top part, not the bottom. I'm going to go over here where it says, let me pull this up a little bit, where it says detach. And I'm going to call this part background. And say OK. Now, I think what I'll do is I'm going to cut out at least part of this, and that will just make everything easier to see. So I'm just going to cut out a little bit of it. Oh, let's see here. Make sure I'm on background instead of cylinder. There it is. Okay, so I've got a little bit of, still not on it here, background. There we go. Polygons. There we go. Just a bit. That'll help me to see inside, but it won't really eliminate my ability to move around in here a lot. And so, you know, I could just delete that, but I think what I'll do is I will detach it, because why throw it away? And I'm just going to call this background back. And I don't know if I'll ever need that, but if I do, I have a piece that fits perfectly with it. And I'm just going to click OK. All right, and in fact, this background back, I'm just going to turn it off for right now. Now I don't even need to worry about it. Maybe I never will. Okay, so back to my ground. First off, I'm going to go ahead and okay, I want to make a copy of this ground, much like I did before, and for much the same reasons. So instead of moving it, you know how we normally would hold down the Shift key to copy? What I'll do, since I don't want to move it, I'm just going to go over here to Edit, and if I say Clone, that's basically the same as copying something. So I'll clone it, and I'll call this part Water. You'll see why in just a few minutes. So that's water, and then where it said cylinder 001, I'm going to go ahead and call that sand, because I'm going to make a beach scene. So there we go. So we've got that. So now I think before I do anything else, I'm going to put the materials on it so it actually feels like it's becoming something. So I'm just going to go Alt W here so that I can go a little bit bigger. And I'm going to bring up my material editor and give it just a standard material, and we're going to call this one background. And we're going to make sure that we can see whatever it is that we put on it in here. And you know, as long as we're here, we might as well make another one. And we'll call this one water. And just like before, I'm going to make it so that I can see it. And yet another one that I'm going to call sand. Okay. So once again, you're going to do your own thing. Whatever it is that you do, that is fine. I'm just running you through my version of it, sort of to show you my way of thinking about it, show you a couple of tricks, a few new things that I would like you to do on it, and how to work efficiently. Okay, so I've got all my materials made for my background already. There are 3 separate ones since they are 3 separate things. Okay, so my background, I'm just going to go ahead and bring it on over to the background. And then I'm going to, here is the sand. So I'll go ahead and bring that over to the sand. Okay, and finally here is water. And I'm going to bring that over here to the water. Now notice that I took a moment to select my different ones, because that way it would, even though these are basically filling the exact same space, when I dragged it over, it would know where to go. Okay, so I got that. Let's work on our background first. So I'm going to go into our T drive and into art, and here we go, into images, and into my backgrounds. And I've got a bunch of new panoramic backgrounds in there. I had one in mind that I thought was pretty cool. How about this one here? I like this one. I'm going to bring this one on in right there. Okay. and into my diffuse color so you can see it right there. And it's okay, but I think we can do better. So let's take a quick picture of this. Confirm, oh right, yes, sure. I think I had an older version saved and that's why I did that. And okay, I can see there's some problems with that. Of course, I knew there would be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my UVW map. And put it on there, and a cylinder would seem like the obvious choice for this. Make sure it fits. Okay. And it still looks pretty much the same, right? Because Max had known to do that. Okay, I must have something on. Let me look in here. So if I go here, and I know what's going on. It says that I've already saved a file. Okay, because I am going to export this later as a video, and so that's why that file was there. So I just unclicked where it said save file. I just unclick that, and that way I'll be able to make render after render as I test this. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's make it a little bit better. So first off, I want this thing here to come together, and so I'm going to, let's say, do this. Okay. So I want it to mirror that. I think that's pretty cool. But I want it to mirror it, but I don't want it to have that dark spot in the middle. I want to have the light in the middle. So I think if I go to this V, no, not the V, the U. Oh yeah, the U is going to work. And so what I'm going to do is I'll offset that by 0.5. That should bring it exactly in half. And so now, yeah, I think that's about how I want it to go. And I might actually end up bringing that up taller. And so here, since everything looks like it's pretty much how I want it to be, I'm going to go ahead and collapse this stack, collapse all, and go back to my vertices. Make sure this one's selected. And I'm going to just select these vertices up top. And since I selected all those vertices, you'll see that when I move them up, it's going to stretch this picture out a little bit. Okay, that might look better. And that way, it'll be better anyways, because more of the scene will be in my camera. It will be easier to keep my scene in my camera. We'll see. This I can move back and forth as I need to. Okay, so all good. Now, the next thing we're going to work on is the water. And so I think for the water, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and I'm just going to copy this right here, because you know how water is oftentimes reflective of the sky. So I'll put that in there. Meanwhile, the sand, I'm going to turn that off so it's invisible, so I'm not even worried about that. And yeah, that's ridiculous, right? It's done it as if it was the top of a cylinder. So here, once again, I'm going to put a UVW map on it. Okay, and so already we can see that's better, but it's still not exactly what I want it to look like. So let's see. So you see how I dragged this down, so all the parameters dragged with it. In other words, this right here. So I'm going to set this back to 0. Oh, okay, look at that. So that's all good. And it is mirrored, so I can keep that because I do want that. I think that looks pretty good. Do you know what I want this to do? I want this to be turned around all the way. So you see this W that rotates it? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rotate that at 0.90. Is that it? No. Just 90. So 90 degrees. Nope, that's not it. 180? 180. That's it. Okay, so 180, that's just turned it all the way around. See, so it will be the exact opposite of what's here. That's what I wanted. Okay, good enough. I think that is just exactly what I want. See, it's getting close. It's almost an exact opposite of that, but we can still do it a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and collapse all right there. I'm going to go to my vertices. I'm going to stretch this out. Because remember how I stretched this out up here? I'm going to stretch this out. So with that, I'm going to go to T for top, and I'm just going to grab this vertice right here. There it is. And I'm going to use soft select. Okay, unfortunately I can kind of see that picture there and see what's going on with it. And I think what I want to do is just bring that up all the way, all the way, all the way. See how that's encompassing most of the item at this point. Pretty much almost all of it. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and just pull it this way. Tilt it just a little bit so I can see. See, I want that dark part here to be gone pretty much. So I'm just going to pull it, pull it, pull it, pull it, pull it until I don't see that dark part anymore. There's just a little bit left. I can see it. There it is. So back to my perspective view, I think we'll see that C is gone. And so I'm just reflecting the water right here. And then over here on the sides, I think I want to pull those over a little bit as well. So back to the top view. And I'm going to grab a couple vertices over here. Control, a couple vertices over here. And this time I'm going to use my scale tool and push those a little bit further apart. I think that'll be fine. Let's go back to my perspective view. I think that's going to be okay. So let's just do a quick render. Looks like it pretty much. I wanted to get most of that tree out of the way. Here's what I could do. Select all of this right here, and I'm just going to move it over. Just a hint. Okay, is that good? I think so. Yeah, I think that's going to work just fine. Mostly I'm just looking for color and seeing that is okay. Okay, good enough, maybe? Sure, why not? Okay, so what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to mess this up a little bit with a noise modifier. So I'm going to turn off my soft select, and I'm going to select all of those guys. Yes, they're all selected. Okay, and I'm going to go over here to my noise modifier. There it is. And I'm going to, on my, right here, on that Z, I'm going to go ahead and bring that up to about, let's say, a foot. So just one. That's just a little bit. Now to really mess it up a little bit more, because we'll see that it's starting to move a little bit. You see how it's already a little bit wavy right here? Right, but I want it to be more than that, but I don't want it to go up real high. Is I'm going to turn on this thing that says fractal. See, that messed it up a little bit more. And how about roughness? If I bring that up, you see how that's getting a lot more rough. Okay, that's good. But I want it to be relatively smooth because it's pretty smooth water back here. I think that's going to look good enough. Okay. And so I'm going to collapse that. All good. Okay, so now I've made my water right here. So the next thing is I'm going to make my sand. So I'm going to turn that back on. And I'm going to turn my water off for a moment. And go over here to my vertices. And select the vertices. And so let me see, I'm still got my soft select here. Use soft select. And I'm going to go back here. There it is. And bring that up. So I'm getting a whole bunch of it here. And just going to bring that up a little bit to make the shore. Bring that up above the level of the water. Maybe even, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the bubble down here to bring it more out this way. And bring it up even a little bit more. And finally, since I want it to be flat, I'll take the vertices that I have selected so far, get my scale tool, and scale them. They will get pretty flat pretty quick. Bring them down a little bit. I don't want that to be too high. Okay, and so then I'll turn the water back on again, and you can see that that is going into the water a bit. I'm going to get the top level here and take it down so I don't have this going on down here. And then this is going to be where I have a beach. So let's go ahead and put a material onto it. So back to my material editor. And to the sand. And so back to images, and I'm going to go to ground. And I have lots of different sand textures here. I think I like this one because it's all messed up. And, you know, since this is a dance scene, I want it to be kind of messed up as if there have been people and maybe a lot of dancing and all kinds of stuff like that. So I don't want it to be too smooth. Okay, and we'll see. Let's see here. Let's just go ahead and right off the bat put a UVW map on it. And also give it a bunch of tiles, probably 10 and 10 and even 10. I don't think you need it on the W, but we'll just see. Good enough. Yeah, because at the angle that we're going to be, this is going to be okay. Alrighty, so there we go. We've got our little stage sort of set, our outdoor scene. I think what I want to do to sort of enhance it a little bit is I want to bring a building into here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here to the art and into the models and into the colored models. And I want to show you just a second how you can kind of mess with the models a little bit to make them a little bit more diverse.